Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Just wait a few more. Let few more join. I guess IT and MCA few students are there. Electronics, some of you are there.
Yes, sir. I'm from electronics.
Okay. Electrical.
Yes, sir, present.
Okay. And
Yes, sir,
stats.
present.
Okay. Stats. Anybody? Just wait for one or two stats students to join. Then I can speak. So I am sharing my screen. So you can see my screen, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So
Yes,
today
sir.
I'll be okay. So today I'll be discussing this the philosophical AI in the philosophical sense, and that is the different types of AI tasks that we can have. And I'll continue that in tomorrow's lecture as well. While I'll be going to uh, the philosophical sense, and this task part is completed. So just should I wait a few minutes? A few more are joining, I guess. Okay, just to discuss, I hope this IT and MCA students I have already discussed regarding course certifications and other things. So electrical and electronics and stats, are you into course certification from NPTEL? Any one of you? The different course certifications?
Yes, sir. We registered for NPTEL exam and there was an exam on Sunday, this Sunday.
No, no. You are from which department? Electrical or electronics?
Electronics.
Okay, so for electronics, there are four specializations. Okay, so when you choose any subject, you just look into the electrical and electronics is into one group, and AI and data science are common. So stat students can do the data science also. So you can look into the course certifications other than the normal one course or two course. You can look into the course certification website. My students of MCA and MTech IT, they are well aware of it. If any of them are going for it, I think Vishal and Dibjyoti, you have done a few courses. Have you gone with respect to the course certification, or you are just doing one or two courses?
Sir, I got one certificate of cloud computing.
Yeah, means you are going as per the that is any of the particular course certifications, or you are just taking the important courses.
Sir, AI I am doing this subject.
No, the thing is that there is a list of courses. I think if you don't remember,
Yes.
I had told you for
Yes, sir.
computer science there are around five specialization. Electrical electronics falling into one group. There are four specializations, and out of the computer science five specializations, one even the stats guys can do. That is the data science part, and AI anybody can do. So in that group of subjects, there are two or three core courses which are mandatory, and there are if there is two core course, there is four elective course, and if there is three core course, then there are three elective course. Total of six courses. If you can complete with 60% marks in a tenure of 3 years, means every semester if you guys can take one course with respect to the group of courses for any one certification like AI, data science, or for electronics and electrical, there is signal processing, then there is power electronics and energy systems. So you can take one, and selecting that one certification, you go under that certification what courses are there. Out of those list of courses, if you can complete the core courses which are mandatory and the elective from a group of 10, you can select 3 or 4, whatever is the required number of courses. If you can do, then you get a certificate separately for you are a AI certified engineer or you are a data science expert kind of thing from the IITs. Okay, so the stat guys, they can do automatically the data science or AI. You also can do if you are interested in that. Whereas for electrical and electronics, there is one single group in which you can take your department course. And in case somebody is interested in AI, data science, that is there in the computer science group. Other than that, computer science, computational theory and other things, theory of computer science is there. Programming is there. Programming any of you can do. In computer science, there is one specialization called programming. So if anybody is interested for the IT market, you can do that programming certification. There are 6 courses under that group also. So if you can complete that within 3 years, it is not necessary that it has to be with respect to your degree. You can be programming course, anybody can do, and you can go for the MNCs with that certificate, and they will directly say take an interview, and in case you are having good marks from the IITs, you can get the recruitment done. So that's why I was insisting to my students also, and if anybody is interested, you can Google for NPTEL course certifications. It is not NPTEL course, it is NPTEL course certification. You'll be getting a certificate separately, just like you completing these 6 courses makes you a certified data science expert or a AI expert or a programming expert or a signal processing expert kind of thing. Okay, getting what? And many of you might be finding a few subjects into your group of electives in your department also. So you can do that if anybody is working on that. Okay, you can have a look. Like Vishal, you have taken AI. AI falls into a elective course in case of data science and a core course in case of AI and a elective course in case of programming. So then you can think of any of the things like this Dipjyoti has done for cloud. So he can plan accordingly. Okay. So, so those students of electrical and electronics or stats who are doing NPTEL courses, do NPTEL courses, but with a direction, so that say you are doing 3 or 4 courses, or दो अगर course हो गया तो 6 हो गया, then you can get a certification also along with that course. Getting the idea? In case of any issues, you can contact me. I am the NPTEL and Swayam SPOC. So you can contact me in this regards. You have my number, so you can give me a call if you have any. But first Google and see what courses are there. If you have doubts, then only. Without any doubts, you just don't call me up. Or you can drop a mail also. Okay. So I hope all of you are there. So I'm starting now. So the types of intelligence that we have may be of different types. First, it may be an intelligence that understands things for itself. Now, if the system understands things for itself, it is like the sentient part that I discussed in the previous classes. It is called excellent intelligence. This is the intelligence which is very good, because the student, like say for example, I give you a book and you understand the things yourself, and you don't need my help or any other faculty or say your say family member or any seniors help. You directly read from the book and you understand everything. That is called excellent intelligence. Next, going to the other part, that is one that appreciates what others understand. Means sometimes say I am explaining something and you appreciate what I understand, and based on whatever I taught you, you are going ahead. Then it is called good intelligence. Okay. If you are able to study for yourself and understand everything, that is excellent intelligence. If you can do with the help of somebody who is say guiding you in this particular thing, then it is called good intelligence. And the last one, that is if it neither itself understands or nor with the help of others is able to understand, that is called useless intelligence. Okay. Means if I teach you, then also you don't understand. You study yourself, also you don't understand, and nobody is able to teach you. That is a useless intelligence. So these are the 3 demarcations of intelligence that is done. So based on that, we are categorizing machines who think and not which. means machines which think is a different thing, and here we are saying who instead of which. We don't say machines which think, we say machines who thinks, because we are giving them a person kind of entity. Clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is AI? I have been discussing in the last few lectures. So, in the previous lecture also we have discussed, but exact definition I have not given because different people have defined AI differently. Okay, fuzzy logic also falls into AI, which the electrical guys use, and your neural network also falls into AI. Natural language processing also falls into AI. So there are various definitions based on various uses of AI. So if I go for what is AI, then we can approximately draw a boundary with the perspective that instead of complex and widely used terms, what we do in a simple line, we can say study of how to make computers do things which at the moment people do better. That's the narrow intelligence idea that I had given in the previous class. So one definition is the simple definition is the way AI means we are studying something that is how to make the computers do something which we presently as human beings do better. Going ahead, but presently computer science IT is evolving, and nowadays even the hardware part where you are having, that's why the IT part is coming into picture along with the, because computer science mainly looks into the software part. IT is actually jack of all master of none kind of thing. They know a bit of software, a bit of hardware kind of thing, and electronics guys or electrical guys are into the hardware part more or less, whereas the stats, mathematics and those things are the base of all the software that we are implementing and doing that. So as it is evolving day to day, what is happening, instead of calling this study of how to make computers do things better, we are saying that this particular definition fails in including some areas which are of large impact. So problems that cannot be solved by either people of computers are still there. Some problems are there which cannot be solved neither by people nor by computers. So it is failing to include that. So the outline is to avoid the philosophical issues, as I have been saying that anything that don't understand falls into the philosophy part. So that's why we have a philosophy department. Those who know what is taken care of there, I think you can be in that particular part. Anyway, rest of the things that are there based on this outline means we try to avoid the philosophical issues that dominate the attempts to define the meaning either artificial or intelligence. We have two parts. One is the artificial means it is not having some syntactic nature kind of thing, whereas the intelligence part that is there is where we need not tell the system what to do and other things, and it understands by itself. So I'll come to the philosophical nature one by one. Let me say first discuss with you that means here what we are trying to do is that there is no clear cut definition of AI. So there is one part that is the artificial, but what will do it artificially is actually a part. And intelligence, there is actually no measure of, we can have IQ as a measure of intelligence, but that is also hypothetical calculation kind of thing. We give a set of problems and how the system, anybody has any idea how IQ is calculated? IQ calculation, Einstein का IQ ज़्यादा है, we have known that for long, or say you guys also can measure your IQ, but what is that IQ calculation? Anybody has any idea how we calculate IQ?
Sir, recently I saw in one public seminar, one person was presenting that there were a set of questions. He was giving the student after getting that answer. He was measuring some, including some food habits that he. Yes, sir.
Yes, so there are set of questions.
Yes, sir.
Now you can test the IQ of a monkey also. You can calculate the IQ of a person also. You can calculate the IQ of a elephant also. The lot of calculations are there, and there are set of questions where they give different types of mental ability kind of thing that is there. But
Yes,
there is
sir.
a issue. The issue that is there, whoever is making that set of question papers, he has to have a higher IQ than that particular person. Getting the problem?
Yes, sir.
So that is a issue. We are saying that he or she is having a very good IQ, but say if I am of low IQ and I make a question for you and you are giving 100% answer in that and you are getting 100 out of 100, so that will not serve the purpose. Okay, we have to have a particular measure or a particular standard of that. So that standard sometimes it is there, and nowadays even in some apps they'll say IQ calculator and so many things are there, but they are not all up to the mark. There are some standard patterns that are there with which the IQ is calculated. So those standard patterns are actually there. What happens, the different questions come from different people who are experts in the different fields. If those kind of questions come, then you can still say it is a standard IQ calculator. Otherwise, if I am making a set of questions, I will be making that set of questions with based on my IQ. If my IQ is low, then how will I test somebody who is of higher IQ than me?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Getting the problem? So that's why there is a particular standard when we calculate the IQ. So if it is made by a standard body where there is a set of people who are the different experts of different reasoning, mental ability and other things, if different experts who are having expertise in different set of tasks, they make a question paper of say 100 questions or say 50 questions or 10 questions, whatever it is. If they make a question based on that, if they are analyzing, then it is a say systematic IQ calculation. But there is also no standard thing. Getting I hope there is a series, I forgot the name of the series, where a guy was having very high IQ and so something. There is a television series. Anyway, if anybody knows the name, you can tell me. Genius or something. Anyway, so if you go ahead, so we are actually having no particular measurement kind of thing. So it is happening like electrical and electronics guys are aware of the thing that what we do, we take everything based on the speed of light. So why do we take the speed of light? Because speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So that is a very high speed, and we see everything based on the light falling on it and electromagnetic spectrum or whatever we are putting. So there we are putting into the idea of the speed of light, because we consider the speed of light to be very high, and that speed of light is used to measure everything. Now if there is something which is faster than speed of light, how will you calculate that? So that is the basic problem here. So the IQ case is also similar to that. You can measure only the things which are slower than you. Just like say with our eyes, if we move a few objects which are very fast, say set of images, say 24 frames per second or 32 frames per second, for our human eye it appears like it is a video instead of a image, set of images. Why? Because our eye speed is less than 24 frames per second or 32 frames per second, or if it is very high, that is how the videos come up, isn't it? You have those who have studied a basic image processing course, they know that, or at least you. Okay, so going ahead, the philosophy and AI that we have is that philosophy is actually study of those branches that are poorly understood and that not had yet become a separate discipline in their own right. So earlier also AI was part of philosophy. Now it is, at one time physics and mathematics also, as I told, was a part of philosophy. So AI suggests the similarity with philosophy but also avoids it. Why? Because AI is dealing with some things which we don't understand, but again avoids it by trying to correlate with it with mathematics, whereas at one time mathematics itself along with physics was a part of philosophy. So initially this mathematics and physics, as they became advanced, so they broke from philosophy, but initially they also was under the domain of philosophy. So if AI succeeds in breaking from it, but it is yet to reduce itself to an empty set. But what people are doing, people are now floating courses in BTech in data science, BTech in AI, then MTech in AI. I think TIT has a MTech in AI or data science. किसका था? Data science जो data
Data
science, yeah.
science.
Yeah. So they have a MTech in data science. Now the thing is that if you have a general data science, fine. So if you have data science, that's good. They are good. They will be having elective courses, a lot of elective courses in data science. But with that, you if you give a degree in data science, the Indian mentality, I don't know, that's my perspective, is very much different. Again, later on, you will have to get a certificate that MTech in data science is equivalent to MTech in CSE or MTech in electronics or MTech in say IT kind of thing, because you need to get a, otherwise ये government job वाला फिर दिमाग खराब करेगा. So even for IT and CS, there was one time where we had to from AICT a letter was required that IT is equivalent to computer science or IT is equivalent to electronics, that kind of thing. Whereas actually IT is half of electronics and half of CS, hardware and software both. Anyway, but for everything we need a official documentation kind of thing. So these kind of things are there. But nowadays, I think recently we had gone for a visit in Techno is opening diploma in the AI. I don't know what they will be teaching in a diploma in AI, because the mathematics that we require in AI is of a very high level, and the diploma students who are 10 pass, they will be having issues with the mathematics part, because diploma means you have to do. How many of you have done diploma? Any of you have done diploma?
Sir.
Means diploma separately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so those who have done diploma, you know that you are having more of practical courses and less of theoretical courses. So diploma means you have to have more practical, that is 60% practical and 40% theory, because that is more hard and fast. So similarly, if they have a diploma in AI, means you have to have lot of programming to be done in AI perspective. And for that, without mathematics, I think the programming in AI or programming you can teach Python and other things, but you need to have a good amount of mathematics there for that. So at one time, physics and mathematics, when people didn't understand physics, when people didn't understand mathematics, was part of philosophy. Later on, AI was part of philosophy, and it is trying to presently break out of it. That's why I am giving those instances. So nowadays we are having a separate branch of AI, and maybe after one time there may be BTech in AI. Like now they are just clubbing it with CS, but later on they may again have a separate branch of AI once the systems come up in a better way. But nowadays you need say still they are demarcated in a separate way. So it is time still, it is yet to be reducing itself to an empty set. Now presently the AI has philosophy attached with it. So the newer offshoots of AI with their real world applications, means everywhere we are putting AI, like I gave you the example, whether you are using any websites, or even nowadays the 5G technology is having built-in AI in the system. So with the 5G technology, then there is a cyber physical system, which example I think I had given you once. So some of you might be members of Institute of Engineers, the MTech students. How many of you are a member of Institution of Engineers? Student member? Okay, none of you. So in case, but at least I'll insist the electrical, electronics and IT students, if you can become, in case you are planning, you can get some funding for your MTech projects from Institution of Engineers. Even if you are not interested in being the member, if you write a very good project, Institute of Engineers funds the project. Maybe nominal, but at least the hardware costs and other things you can get. Okay. Stats people may have a problem, or the MCA students may be having a problem because they are not certified engineers, or maybe the MTech students who are from MCA background, they will also have a problem because now at present they may not be getting the membership of Institute of Engineers, but others, electrical electronics guys who have done BTech, if you want, you can take a student membership of Institute of Engineers, and during the present scenario, because you are in the second year now, with discussing with your supervisor, you can write a Institute of Engineers project and they can fund your project. Maybe very small amount also, 10-20,000, but whatever hardware and you require for the project you can get. Maybe your thesis printing also can be done at least. Anyway, so but your supervisor also has to be a member of Institution of Engineers. Anyway, going ahead, as we have this AI that goes with the real world. Real world is the present scenario. So if we want a robot that would sit opposite to us and will visualize, and they will, in a physical world, they are playing chess or using a app based chess. Many of you are playing, I think you have seen. You can do a 2-player system, you can do a single player system also. In the single player, the computer is playing with you, and a 2-player, you can ask any of your friends to play it online or offline with the same mobile set. How many of you have done that? Chess, online chess?
Yes, sir, I'm done.
Okay, but लड़की लोग तो मैक्सिमम क्या लूडो खेलता है ना? Anyway, you can try that. Okay, so these things have pushed the definitions of AI to a greater extent. But the thing is that again here is a problem. What is the problem? AI वाला जो ये ऐप का प्रोग्राम, चेस का प्रोग्राम जिसने बनाया है, उसका दिमाग जितना होगा उतना ही तो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होगा ना. If the person who is writing the code for the chess game, for Ludo it is not a problem because just you have to generate random numbers. Okay, I'm not undermining playing of Ludo, but the thing is that what happens here is that the complexity of the programming in Ludo is more easy compared to if you ask me to program a Ludo program or ask me to program a chess program. The programming of a Ludo program is much simpler than chess program. Why? Can anybody tell me?
Sir, no set of rules.
No. See, Ludo also will be tough if you have the computer playing the Ludo. Means which object, means which thing to move and other things. Snakes and ladders is the simplest one because in snakes and ladders you just have to move ahead. There is no complexity in the program. Getting?
I hope in case of chess, there is much more chances of probability calculation than Ludo.
Yeah, probability is there, but thing is that, see, there is 2 ways of considering the game of Ludo. If you are considering the snakes and ladders, it is a simple case. Means you throw the dice, whatever random number 1 to 6 comes in the dice, based on that you can have a set of simple rules which based on which your movements are there in the snakes and ladders. But when you go to Ludo, if there are 4 people playing, not an issue. If the computer is playing, then you have to have the complexity in the program. Why? Because you are having 4 things that you can move. And you can say block somebody, you can go ahead, you can keep something aside. So those complexities when you bring in, then the you can put some good intelligence in it. May not be that's why I had defined useless intelligence, excellent intelligence, and good intelligence. So for this snakes and ladders, you need useless intelligence. Why? Because you know randomly whatever thing 1 to 6 will come based on that. So if the computer is playing snakes and ladders with you, then it is totally luck based, isn't it? Clear? If the computer is playing snakes and ladders with you, how will I hope everybody knows the rules of snakes and ladders, Ludo and chess. Otherwise it will be hypothetical. एनीबॉडी, किसी को है ये तीनों गेम खेलना नहीं आता है? तीनों में से कोई एक गेम खेलना नहीं आता है? So everybody knows how to do that. So here first thing is that when it is snakes and ladders, as the dice will be rolled based on the whatever is coming in the dice, the movement of the players will be there. So in this snakes and ladders, even if the computer plays with you, computer क्या करेगा? वो random number generate करेगा 1 to 16 and then जो भी नंबर आएगा उतना स्टेप्स जाएगा. स्नेक हुआ तो गिरेगा, लेडर हुआ तो ऊपर जाएगा, कुछ नहीं है तो सिस्टमेटिक रहेगा. So that is what useless intelligence. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Useless intelligence because there will be a set of rules and based on that it has to go. क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, कंप्यूटर को समझना भी नहीं है, कंप्यूटर को कुछ दिमाग भी नहीं लगाना है उसमें. Clear? Now why Ludo is good intelligence? Ludo is good intelligence provided the computer is playing with you. If the computer is not playing with you, to make a Ludo program is not a very big deal. क्यों क्या है, 4 आदमी 4 बार रैंडम करेगा, अभी जो आदमी जिस जैसे गोटी हिलाएगा उसके वाइज वो चलेगा. Simple as that. But if the computer has to play with you, computer has to think that how to block, you have to put algorithm how to block that person, how to gobble up his one of his moves, isn't it? So some amount of intelligence will be required for those processings. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now going to the chess. The chess, as you said, there are a lot of probabilities in that, and each and every moves that are there are different set of rules for each and every say things, whether it is a king or a bishop or a rook or a the pawn, whatever is there. So you have different types of rules there and how it moves. So knight moves in one way, the rook moves in another way, the bishop moves in another way, the king or queen moves in another way. So whatever way in which they move, so there are separate set of rules. Clear? So as there are different set of rules there, along with that, you have to understand the mind of the opponent also and do it. So you need excellent amount of intelligence. But that excellent amount of intelligence here again comes down to the intelligence of the programmer who is programming it. So if the programmer is not intelligent enough, he will not be making a very good intelligent chess game. So maybe say जब ये statistics वाला जिसको mathematics बहुत अच्छे से आता है, वो अगर ये चेस का गेम बनाएगा, he or she can make a very much better kind of chess game compared to a person. एक डिप्लोमा इंजीनियर को मैंने डाल दिया जो सिंपल डिप्लोमा करके आया, उसको बोला उसको प्रोग्रामिंग बहुत अच्छा आता है, स्टैट्स वालों को प्रोग्रामिंग में भी उतना अच्छा नहीं आता है, but the rules and probability and those things the stat guys will know much better than a person who is a diploma engineer. अभी वो डिप्लोमा वाला इंजीनियर जो गेम छोड़ा है चेस का, वो स्टैटिस्टिक्स वाला आदमी में भी एक आईटी या सीएस या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स के अच्छा प्रोग्रामर के साथ मिलके जो गेम बनाएगा, the thing will be that will have much more intelligence involved in that chess game compared to the one made by the diploma engineer. लेकिन क्या होगा, दोनों का अपना अपना फायदा है. एक में प्लेयर हारता रहेगा तो वो उसके बाद डिलीट कर दिया ऐप, और एक में प्लेयर जीतता रहेगा तो कुछ दिन बाद बोर होकर डिलीट कर दिया. So that may be both ways. Okay? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So the same thing is this is same as your IQ level, isn't it? The IQ level that I was telling. So all definitions that we have discussed are not adequate of the desired AI. So because the feelings of intelligence is kind of a mirage. Mirage, I think you know, like in desert you get a feel kind of thing. If you achieve it, it ceases to make you feel so. So that is what वो जिसने कॉम्प्लेक्स गेम बनाया, दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज गिविंग, स्टैटिस्टिक्स वाला ने अच्छा से एकदम कॉम्प्लेक्स चेस गेम बनाया, तो इसमें जीतना मुश्किल है, तो जब तक जीतना मुश्किल है तब तक वो खेलता रहा. तो इसके बाद जब जीत लिया, वो एल्गोरिथम पता चल गया या जीत लिया, तब उसको डिलीट कर दिया. और जो डिप्लोमा इंजीनियर ने बनाया वो पहले से ही जीत रहा है, 3 बार 4 बार खेल गया, इसमें तो मैं हमेशा जीतता हूँ, तभी ऐप को डिलीट कर दिया. गेटिंग? So it's the feeling of intelligence is like a mirage. Once you achieve it, then you feel you don't say feel as good as. अभी तुमको monthly 50 के सैलरी मिलने से यू आर वेरी हैप्पी, लेकिन जब 50K मिल जाता है फिर सोचते हैं अरे थोड़ा और सैलरी बढ़ने से अच्छा था, isn't it? So the same thing happens. So AI is artificial intelligence till it is achieved, and once it is achieved, AI क्या बन जाता है? It is already implemented. So AI दोनों ही AI है. Once before you know it, it is artificial intelligence. When you know it and you have implemented it, it is already implemented. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if you can comprehend the concept of AI, it aids you to understanding how our natural intelligence work. You can see, that's why I told you it is kind of a mirage. Okay, so until and unless there are the mysteries to unfold, you are thinking अरे ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है, artificial intelligence है, बहुत कुछ है, and जब ये सब कुछ निकल गया, then it's over. Okay, जब तक इंटरेस्टिंग लगा है, समझ में नहीं आया तब तक इंटरेस्टिंग है, जब समझ में आ गया है तब that is not at all interesting, isn't it? So the problems that we have in AI, some are formal tasks, simple tasks where people are more focused in the formal tasks like game playing. Okay, chess, Chinese checkers were considered as intelligent earlier. अभी तो कंप्यूटर खेलता है तो बोले अरे कुछ नहीं है. पहले एट अ टाइम व्हेन यू गाइस वर किड्स, गैरी कैस्परॉव कंप्यूटर से जीत गया, बहुत बड़ा चीज हो गया. इट वाज समथिंग लाइक दैट. कंप्यूटर से जीतना मुश्किल था, बट नाउ विनिंग विद कंप्यूटर इज वेरी इजी बिकॉज as I told you, the computer programs, maybe the complexity is same, but the people know how the computer moves and other things. तो एक बार जीता, दो बार जीता कंप्यूटर तुमसे, तीसरे बार तुम जीत गया बिकॉज तुमको मालूम है कंप्यूटर किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है या एल्गोरिथम. इवन इफ यू डोंट नो सिस्टमेटिकली, यू नो इनहेरेंटली कि ये ऐसा वाला मूवी करेगा कंप्यूटर. देन थ्योरम प्रूविंग जो मैथमेटिक्स वाले करते हैं, टफ मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम्स, it is at one time they were considered as intelligent. Nowadays these are not considered as intelligent क्योंकि वो systematic way में computers can do those things if it is systematic. If it is non-systematic, then it is a different thing. Because if even nowadays the calculator भी वो तुम्हारा क्या matrix का solve कर देता है ना. Some of you have the scientific calculators which can solve 3x3 matrix. Electrical guys must be using in their phasor equations lot of times. इलेक्ट्रिकल स्टूडेंट्स 3 फेज का इक्वेशन सॉल्व किया है मैट्रिक्स मेथड से. Anyway, so it is very easy to handle the calculator because earlier when we were students before the MS series came up, we had to do those kind of matrix based calculation, unknown matrix variables we had to do manually. But once the calculators came up, we were doing it with calculators, and then teachers were seeing that अरे ये तो calculator में कर रहा है, मैं इतना मेहनत करके 10 नंबर का प्रॉब्लम दिया, ये तो 5 नंबर भी नहीं देना चाहिए अगर कैलकुलेटर से किया है. So that is a different thing because calculator, scientific calculator, कौन जो इन्विजिलेटर है वो ह्यूमैनिटीज का है तो उसको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि this calculator is scientific or not scientific, isn't it? So हम लोग we could use the matrix solving things there for phasor equations and other things. Anyway, इलेक्ट्रिकल स्टूडेंट्स किसी ने कैलकुलेटर यूज किया है मैट्रिक्स सॉल्विंग का? अनडिफाइंड मैट्रिक्स. तो तुम you guys for when there are some unknown variables also you can do that using the MS calculators, I guess the 991 series and others. अभी कौन सा सीरीज तक I forgot. Presently I'm not using the calculators much. Anyway, so the computers could perform these very fast and explore a number of solution paths for selecting the best solution path. Okay, so people thought this process required initially very much knowledge. Now as they are being easily programmed, they are thinking that अरे ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है. So there is some combinatorial explosion. So combinatorial explosion is something like you give some combinatorial design, means it is like licensing. All of you know that say whether it is antivirus or whether it is your Windows software, and you do some licensing. In that licensing, what happens is that you are having some serial number and key and those things. Now those serial numbers and key actually are correlated with different, normally हम लोग तो pirated भी डाल देते हैं, but Microsoft is always able to detect कि अरे इसमें तो गलत नंबर डाला है या, but actually the thing is that they have some combinatorial designs. There are some combinations of keys with respect to each and every serial number. So as the if there is a 16-bit number, then that means with that 16-bit number means 2 to the power 16 licenses only can be given. More than that cannot be given. तो इसीलिए कभी-कभार problem हो जाता है that the licenses are caught because there are some algorithms to cross check the license and other things. So a combinatorial explosion means what? If you are having 2 to the power 16 and once all the 2 to the power 16 license are given, अभी जब उससे एक या दो ज्यादा license number देना है, then what will do? We have to change. जैसे त्रिपुरा का number plate system at one time TRM और क्या क्या डालते थे. Now they are putting TR01 for the Agartala sector. और at one time it was A, B, C करके खत्म हो गया. Z तक जाने के बाद फिर A, B करके आ रहा है. You have noticed the number plates? किसी का बाइक या स्कूटी का नंबर होगा ना, या गाड़ी का नंबर होगा?
Yes, sir.
So those numbers that are there, they are combinatorial expansions. Combinatorial expansions means you have to give a unique number to everybody. So अभी क्या हो गया? अभी increase कर दिया. जब मैं A, B करके आ गया, तो वो कहाँ तक जाएगा? AZ के बाद क्या आ जाएगा? BA, B, C करके BZ तक जाएगा और सब में फिर 4 डिजिट है. Getting? License number plates. So this kind of combinatorial explosion are there. But long back there was a time only TR01 तक ही था, या TRM था, TRL था, ऐसा करके चल रहा था TR का. जब single there was only one thing. Okay. So that is the way in which this goes, and there are some common sense reasoning based tasks where they are more focused on problem solving, how to get this work done in the morning and so on. So reasoning out of the physical objects, okay, then reasoning about the actions and the consequences. So if you leave something, it will fall in the floor and break. So you are always aware of this kind of thing. So these are common sense reasoning. So to investigate this type of reasoning, different scientists, Neville, Shaw, Simon, they have given different problem solvers for symbolic manipulations, logic expression. I'll be discussing those things in a later class. And but there is no program with large amount of knowledge, because there is some environmental knowledge kind of thing that is applied there. So it is something like knowledge based on the environment. So that is common sense reasoning. And common sense reasoning tasks may be different, based on the progresses. That may be perception, vision, speech. If I bring something very near to your eye, your hand automatically comes up, or your eyes automatically shut, your eyelids automatically shut. So that is your normal auto response kind of thing. ओके तो जो स्लिप में फील्डिंग करते हैं हम लोग बोलते हैं उसका रिफ्लेक्स बहुत अच्छा है. रिफ्लेक्स बहुत अच्छा है मींस बॉल आने से कभी कभार बिना देखे ही पकड़ लेता है. सो दिस परसेप्शन, विजन एंड दीज आर ऑल एक्चुअली कोरिलेटेड विद द कॉमन सेंस रीजनिंग. एंड natural language processing and natural language understanding, there are two things. One is natural language processing. So किसी को कलकत्ता वाला बंगाली आता है, अगरतला वाला आके even if it is fast थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आ जाता है. And here they are able to process something, लेकिन वो vocabulary और grammar का तो लफड़ा है, isn't it? Anybody from Assam here? Anybody from Assam? Or somebody who knows Assamese? कोई है Assamese जिसको मालूम है?
हाँ पता है सर.
थोड़ा पता है. Okay. So in Assamese there is a word like gompaisu. Gompaisu means I have understood. So अभी मान लो कि हिलरी को कोई समझा रहा है तो इसके या फिर हिलरी कोई असमीज दोस्त को कुछ समझा रहा है, उसके बाद वो एंड हिलरी डजंट नो असमीज, उसके बाद वो द गर्ल और द बॉय सेज गोम्पाइसु, इसे अरे इतना देर समझाया तो फिर इसको दुख क्यों हुआ? बिकॉज गम शी इज रिलेटिंग विद द हिंदी वर्ड गम दैट इज सैडनेस, isn't it?
Sir.
Why? Because that is a natural language processing and understanding thing. Say Hillary understands Hindi and doesn't understand Assamese, and the thing automatically, the natural response of the Assamese girl or Assamese boy after Hillary has explained some mathematics or something, this gompaisu means अरे they may अरे इतना देर समझाया, and after that she or he is feeling sad that he didn't understand, but what actually that student is saying is that he or she has understood everything. So that is the main problem in the natural language processing and the natural language understanding. Getting? So if the vocabulary is there with Hillary, if Hillary knows Assamese, then she will able to know that what the other person is saying. And if she doesn't know, then also is okay. But when it is happening that some words are coming which is in her vocabulary with a different meaning and in her meaning in different meaning, so that is a different thing. Okay, so there is a difference in the vocabulary, grammar and the database that is available, whether in your mind or whether with the computer, based on which the natural language and processing and the understanding. The processing that Hillary has done is based on the word gum meaning sadness in her vocabulary and grammar, and that's why the understanding is different. Now, if that gum was in the, with respect to Assamese is actually understanding, then she can understand what actually the other person meant. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that happens regularly everywhere, isn't it? So the problem solving thing that is there is specialized domains are there, like say engineering tasks, say engineering design or something, scientific discovery, medical diagnosis, chemical analysis, financial planning. So these are all specialized domains where the expertise is required, and only common sense will not. For your case, it may be common sense, but for other person, along with the common sense, many more things will be required. Okay, like मेडिकल डायग्नोसिस में एमडी मेडिसिन सब डायग्नोस्टिक सेंटर से रिपोर्ट आएगा, उसका रिपोर्ट का एनालिसिस करके बोलेगा तो क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ है. फॉर साइंटिफिक डिस्कवरी आल्सो सिमिलर थिंग, केमिकल एनालिसिस और फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग आल्सो that the same thing has to be done. So these are the different group of tasks. There are mundane tasks, formal tasks and expert tasks. So engineering like fault finding, manufacturing, scientific analysis, medical analysis, financial analysis, these are expert tasks. Formal tasks are like सिस्टमेटिक कुछ रूल बेस्ड होगा, मैथमेटिक्स का, जियोमेट्री, लॉजिक, इंटीग्रल, स्टैटिस्टिक्स जो भी है, तुम्हारा चेस, चाइनीज चेकर्स, बिल बोर्ड्स, दीज आर ऑल फॉर्मल टास्क. एंड म्यूडेंट टास्क आर वो नॉर्मल हो जाता है, नेचुरल लैंग्वेज अंडरस्टैंडिंग, जनरेशन, ट्रांसलेशन, कॉमन सेंस का जो रीजनिंग है, रोबोट का कंट्रोल, विजन, स्पीच, वो तो जो भी हम लोग देखते हैं उसके वाइज हम लोग काम करते हैं. सो दैट इज mundane tasks. So these are the different types of AI tasks in which they are segregated into. Clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
So mainly we are having the mundane tasks, formal tasks and expert tasks, and initially I had discussed as good intelligence, excellent intelligence and useless intelligence. So mundane tasks to some extent are related to useless intelligence, formal tasks to some extent is related to the good intelligence, and expert tasks are normally related to the excellent intelligence. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So person that is performing this task can put them into first category is perceptual, linguistic and common sense, which are mundane, then expert skills, and initial AI was concentrated in these two things. And later on much less computation is required for this, because mundane tasks earlier at one time the mundane tasks were very say problematic. Nowadays those are more simple, and the perceptual, linguistic kind of thing, they are much easier. Means क्या हो रहा है, उन लोग का कैटेगरी ये हो रहा है. पहले एक्सपर्ट टास्क हम लोग कभी सोचा भी नहीं था कि डॉक्टर के जगह में हम एक मशीन को डाल के समझा देंगे, डायग्नोस्टिक सेंटर से रिपोर्ट आएगा, मशीन बोल देगा आपका लीवर खराब है, isn't it? So now we are trying to do that. earlier even game playing के भी हम लोग सोच रहे थे बहुत बड़ा चीज है, but now that has actually reduced to some extent. So the questions that we have discussed till now is what are our underlying assumptions about the intelligence, then what kind of techniques will be useful for solving AI problems, then at what level of details, if at all, we are trying to model a human intelligence, at what level we'll be doing it, and how will we know when we have succeeded in building a intelligent program. So these are the 4 questions that we have discussed till now. I hope it is clear up to that. If you have some doubts, you can feel free and ask me.